This work session, regular meeting of the Township Council is called to order. Madam Clerk.
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this work session regular meeting of the Franklin Township Council was made as required, indicating that this meeting would take place at the Municipal Building at 7 p.m. on Monday, November 10th, 2025.
If you could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation by Councilman Rahman Barrison. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We gather tonight in service to our community, mindful of the responsibilities entrusted to us. We lift up in prayer those among us who are struggling to put food on the table, our neighbors, our elders, our children, who face each day without the support of vital programs like SNAP. Grant us wisdom and courage to shape policies that reflect justice, dignity, and care for the most vulnerable. May our actions be guided by empathy, equity, and a shared commitment to the common good. Amen.
Amen.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Here.
Councilman Karazi?
Here.
Mayor Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Onijaka?
Here.
Councilmember Potasnik? Yes. Deputy Mayor Udine?
Here.
Councilman Vasanella?
Here.
Councilman Wright?
Item number 5 on the agenda, we have one proclamation, World Diabetes Day, 2025. Dr. Karazi.
Good evening, everyone. So this is a proclamation about Diabetes Awareness Day, which is going to be on November 14th. Unfortunately, diabetes affects almost 10% of Americans. So I had lost an aunt because of the diabetes, and a few of my relatives, brother-in-laws and so forth, they have diabetes. So I'd like to read this to increase the awareness. Whereas diabetes is a serious chronic disease that affects millions of Americans and their families, impacting quality of life and placing significant burden on our healthcare system. And whereas more than 38 million Americans are currently living with diabetes, and approximately 1.2 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year. And whereas diabetes is the 8th leading cause of death in the United States and a leading cause of kidney failure, lower limb amputations, and adult blindness. And whereas the theme of World Diabetes Day emphasizes the importance of early detection, proper management, education, and access to quality care for all individuals living with diabetes, and whereas through lifestyle changes, prevention care, and increased awareness, type 2 diabetes can often be prevented or delayed, and those living with diabetes can lead full, healthy lives with proper management and support. And whereas it is essential that we work together as a community to raise awareness about diabetes prevention, support those affected by this disease, and promote healthy lifestyle for all residents of Franklin Township. And whereas we encourage all residents to learn about their risk factors for diabetes, maintain healthy eating habits, engage in regular physical activities, and speak with their healthcare providers about diabetes screening and prevention. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Council of Franklin Township do hereby proclaim November 14, 2025 as World Diabetes Day in Franklin Township, and urge all residents to increase their awareness of diabetes prevention, treatment, and management, and to support those in our community living with this disease. And here I have Linda Powell, who is a member of the Advisory Board of Health, so I'd like to present this to her. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. We will take a picture.
I just wanted to add that I work with, and have been working with kidney failure patients for the last 46, 47 years, and almost 60% of my patients are affected by diabetes.
Look here. Get close. There you go. Look beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Or- Oh, I'm sorry.
You skipped a part.
I'm skipping way
I was
ahead.
getting close to moving.
All right, thank you. We're actually to upcoming events. I skipped a step. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, at November 11th, and we have a Veterans Day ceremony, which is going to be held right here inside council chambers. Mr. LaCourte has decided it's going to be too cold to do it outside. They can go outside for the bell ringing. Coffee and donuts will be served, and that's about the time. I don't know the time. 10:30, which makes sense. 10:30. I unfortunately won't be able to be there. I'm going to be working. It's my day of the week that I work. Mr. Bornlacher, do you have any announcements for events?
Other than Veterans Day, I was just discussing something with the councilwoman, but did you do Veterans Day?
I did.
That was the only other, that was the only one I had, Mr.
Okay. Anyone else have any other announcements?
On Thursday, there's the hearing for the Department of Environmental Protection for the air permits for the Transco pipeline, the Nessie project. That's from 5:30 to 9:30. And if you're interested in finding out how to register, it's important to have your voice be heard. You can visit our township website under Nessie, the task force. If you scroll down, there's a spot where you can get a link to register. But it's, again, important from 5:30 to 9:30. They left a little more time this time because they ran out of time for the previous permits.
Anyone else? Okay, now public discussion. Do we have unanimous consent to open to the public? Seeing no one disagreeing, we're open to the public for anyone wishing to speak on anything to do with government. 5 minutes, no yielding of time, may only come up once.
Linda Powell, 22 Buffer Drive. First, I want to congratulate all those of you who ran to be reelected, and congratulations that you were reelected. I was very happy about the elections results, not only here, but around the country, and that was quick. My happiness was quickly dashed on November 7th when we found out that both New York and New Jersey approved the quality water permits for the Nessie project. We've been working against this project since 2016. The project hasn't changed. It's just as polluting. It's just as damaging. The only thing that has changed is that the climate's gotten worse. We've had the hottest summers. We've had more destructive storms and more flooding. And it looks like because of these decisions and the basically bullying by our current president and federal government, we're going to be headed more in that direction. But there is a possibility of hope. As Councilmember Ed Potasnik mentioned, there is still the air permit. And if you want, this would be this Thursday, November 13th. There's another virtual hearing. And you can either go to www.scrap-nesc.org or on the Township website. If you look under committees and commissions, under task force, go to the bottom of the page, and it'll say news, and it says join the NJDEP hearing. You can click on that, which will lead to a page where you can sign up. I'm not sure that I have the hope I've had in the last 9 years that we've been fighting this that will go through, but I still think that we need to stand up to the bullying and blackmail that's being done by some people in our federal government. The other reason I'm here is I presented a draft resolution on the Immigrant Trust Act. Some of you may remember, I didn't look up what year it was, but several years ago, this council unanimously approved a resolution on the Immigrant Trust Directive. This is a little bit stronger because it actually makes, I believe it makes a law in New Jersey. And what it does, it allows law enforcement, schools, courts, hospitals to have a way to say that they will not do ICE's job for them. Of course, ICE has changed in the last several years as well, and their tactics have changed, and who is now ICE agents has changed. And I just think that this gives our local resources something to fall back on and not have to support some of these, what look to me like immoral kidnappings more than lawful actions. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you. In fact,
Thank
I have
you.
to leave for another meeting.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Javon Walker, 15 Coon Street. Just wanted to, it might be just a general question more than a request, but I read the story about a month or two ago about two high school girls that were killed by a fellow high school student in Cranford, and basically it was like it was a whole story. Unfortunately, the girls were murdered, but a lot of their peers are trying like a change.org petition and trying to go to the state government to eventually like try to allow underage kids to seek restraining orders against individuals. I don't know if that is only allowed by the state law or if there's anything that we can do within a locality. I get what you mean, Mr. Warlocker. I don't know if there's anything that can be proposed municipality-wise within Franklin Township, or is there any type of thing that we could do to further reduce type of like domestic violence or restraining order or anything like that, even for teenagers or people that are minors? That's the only thing I have.
Thank you.
You want me to answer, Mayor?
Does the Franklin reporter want to speak? No, they're the only ones else in the room, so yes, you can answer that.
So, Mr. Walker, domestic violence laws are dictated by state statute, and a municipality is prohibited from superseding state law when it comes to things like domestic violence laws. It's actually in the criminal code, and the code itself affords a number of things to domestic violence victims. In fact, I think New Jersey has among the most strict domestic violence laws in the country. But juveniles are not subject to domestic violence restraining orders because juveniles are covered under a different set of laws that are basically, for lack of a better term, the child abuse laws. So that's why they're not entitled to restraining orders. They're covered under a different set of laws. I am familiar with the matter that you spoke of. I'm also familiar with the change.org effort to get restraining orders to be available to minors, and that's something that would be handled by the state legislature.
Do we have unanimous consent to close public session? Seeing no dissent, public session is closed. We've already addressed the public's comments and questions. Time for council reports. There's no one here. You don't have to go on that long. Mr. Karazi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Let me first extend my heartfelt gratitude to members of our community who exercised one of their most important civic duties and casted their votes. Congratulations to all, including my colleagues who won the election, and also a special thanks to others who did not have the opportunity to win. Your hard work and efforts are greatly appreciated. Of course, now that the election is over, we must put the politics aside and work together to serve our community the best we can. We had Advisory Board of Health meeting last week and had a special guest, Mrs. Clark, which is the Executive Committee Director of the Affordable Housing. She shares some information about steps that people can sign up for low and moderate income housing, as well as the rental and purchase and the rental. And she also mentioned that things are really tough these days. Not a lot of people can afford even the rent as well as the purchase of the housing. So we also had the members of the Advisory Board of Health also had some food collection as well as some money donation to give to food bank. And speaking of the food bank, actually today I visited the food bank and spoke to Director of the food bank, Derek Smith. And I'm happy to let you know that last week they graciously met the extra needs of the community members. In fact, they had about 10% increase, but they did not have any issue. And Derek mentioned that last week they purchased $50,000 worth of food. And when I was there, I saw the refrigerators and the shelves were completely full, and they were waiting for tomorrow when they open their doors for the community members to come and serve them. One thing that we need to keep in mind is that the food insecurity is an ongoing issue in our township and many other places. Almost 10,000 people depend on their food needs, at least supplementing their food needs, they go to food bank. So we need to continue supporting them. And I'm glad the House of Worship, as well as others, individuals, they are really helping. I saw one of my old friends, Rich Seaman, who's outside, and they were collecting food, and that's really wonderful. Also, this afternoon, before I came to the council, I got a message from one of my neighbors that their church, First Baptist Church, they are going to be given 100 turkeys and all the other stuff that needed for the Thanksgiving. Is going to be this Saturday on the 15th, and first come, first served, starting at 9:30. That's on 9 Pershing Avenue. So again, people, community members, different community members, as well as the House of Worship are stepping up to help our community members, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. And I'm sure Franklin, in the past, they have been able to help, and in the future, they will also continue to help. One important thing that you have to remember is that based on what Derek told me, that this year, compared to last, there was about 25% increase in the number of people that they went to food bank. So the need is increasing. The place they have is very small, and hopefully in the next couple of years, they will build a very large place to meet the needs of the community. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Onijaka.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to use this privilege to thank those who voted for me in the last election and those who did not vote for me. This shows my reactive and response to their problems. I will continue to do my duty and support whatever that is good for Franklin. Thank you, Mayor. This is what I have.
Thank you. Councilman Barrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A real quick update. The Sewerage Authority Board meeting, we approved the budget for next year. So that's all taken care of. As you remember, I think it's 2.8% or 2.9% increase in some rates to make up the shortfall. Other than that, I talked to a resident last night about he was scammed with a cryptocurrency. I can't just understand why people still get scammed with all the publicity we have been offering with the FBI. Deputy Mayor organized FBI seminar here, a couple of places. Despite all that and all the coverage the newspaper does, we still have people falling victim to crypto coverage. This gentleman spoke to me last night. Obviously, our PD is not equipped to handle such fraud. So it's really FBI has to get involved. So we are trying to get the matter to the FBI. So please don't click the links that come to your emails or WhatsApp regarding crypto or financial education or whatever. Nothing is free. Just go to reliable companies that you know of that have a track record. Now for some good news. As you know that we have been working on the YMCA funding for building a YMCA in Franklin. Last Diwali in 2024, I made an announcement. I haven't given much publicity to that. And my wife and I, as a family, we made a contribution as a startup, as a seed money. And I'm happy to say last week, one of my close friends, longtime friends, an entrepreneur, pharma executive, has signed a pledge for $1 million towards YMCA. So that's a good news. We are hoping that many will follow suit and make that a reality for the township. That's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, that's quite a bit. Councilwoman Francois.
Should have had my mic ready to go. Good evening, everybody. First, I want to say I got a chance to attend the Veterans Day breakfast this morning with Councilman Rahm and the mayor. Joe Danielson had a full house over at the Stage House. It was a really, really delicious breakfast, and it was so nice talking to so many veterans. The place was full. So I want to say happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans. Thank you so much for your service. Also, there's going to be at the Youth Center on next Wednesday, November 19th, a Friendsgiving dinner for all of our youth and their parents from 4 to 6 p.m. This is our third year doing that, and it's a lovely holiday dinner for the youth and their families over at the Youth Center. And also, I would like to congratulate my council colleagues for winning your re-election. I've been very proud and happy to serve with you, and I'm grateful that I have 2 more years to go to serve with you. Councilman Charles Onyejaka, Deputy Mayor Chifa Udine, Councilman Jim Basanella, Council Member Ed Potasnik, and Councilman the illustrious Carl Wright.
Him too?
W2.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I understand 4 of those, but Mr. Vasanella.
Thank you. A few items. Since you mentioned our illustrious gentleman here at the end, I feel compelled to start with what I was going to mention. One of the items I was going to mention, Carl, Mr. Wright, has been the leader in pushing expanding our sidewalks in town for everybody, but especially geared towards moving school kids safely back and forth from school. Obviously, everybody uses them and will be safer for them. But with that, mention Highland Avenue, one of the last pieces of the puzzle of what I think is the second or third phase here is almost complete. There's a sidewalk from Franklin Boulevard to Irvington Avenue. Probably should have been there decades ago, but it's coming along wonderful. And Carl's initiated a lot of long stretches, including that one. I've been focused more on replacing pieces that were missing or destroyed by trees, et cetera. But I'm really happy that we've kind of turned the corner, and we'll take a look at what needs to be left, Carl, but hopefully we'll finish that up in the next few years. All that being said, the main meeting I'm reporting on is a Public Works meeting. We spent some time reviewing some possible ordinance amendments. They're not ready yet to move forward, so I'm not going to get into the details, but one of the items was doing a comprehensive review of the self-sustaining convenience center that we have, because it's a great service. We want to keep providing it, but we have to make sure that the cost we charge and the cost it costs us to keep it going are somewhat, self-sustaining. So we're reviewing that, and we'll have possible ordinance changes coming forward with some others in the coming couple of months. The one item that I would like to mention was, I'm going to say, kind of unanimously moved forward, is the I call mini reforestation of an area of Castleton Park known as Bartha Woods, and I'm happy to say that all of the work that the subcommittee put into it is paying off. Long story short, we're take a couple months, but getting the bid specs together, and hopefully we will have a contractor, and hopefully that will move forward in the after the beginning of the year, so that the planting can happen in April or May. One of the first projects of its type in Franklin, and hopefully not the last. And I want to thank everybody who worked on that. One other item I wanted to mention, and especially subcommittee, William Burrs, Robert Hudak, Mary Laukow. I know her as Mary. I hope I'm not mispronouncing her name. And myself is on the subcommittee that put the project together. The one last thing I'd like to mention is there's a lot of talk about hunger recently and food issues. There was an item I came across in a publication that the county puts out called Spotlight Fall and Winter, Somerset County, nice little publication the county puts out. And one item I don't think was ever mentioned, I'll just read it right from their publication. In addition to the experience in fresh foods and our farmers share with residents and visitors, our farmers also work hand in hand with the county and our local food banks and nonprofit partners to help battle food insecurity. One item is the Somerset County seniors age 60 and older. I guess 60 now makes you a full senior, but seriously, 60 and older who meet the income eligibility limits, and I don't know what they are, they're not printed here, can receive a $40 voucher to use at local farm stands. So you can buy fresh fruit, vegetables, and herbs. I assume the county sponsors this program financially. So every little bit helps, and that's a program that I don't know if there's a link on our website. Maybe we could put a link so that seniors in Franklin or people over 60 could take advantage. And the last thing I'll say with Thanksgiving coming up is, we do all these efforts, and I applaud them. I've been working on hunger issues literally for 40 years. At the end of the day, good old-fashioned gesture by a neighbor, a friend, a relative, a stranger. If you see someone that looks like they could use a meal or don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, or for whatever other reasons seem like they could use food, you don't have to go do it formally. You don't have to write a big check. You can just make them a meal, invite them to dinner, and a good old little community spirit. Those little gestures go a long way. thank you for mentioning all the other stuff. Rom, by the way, I know that fails in comparison, but I'm hearing there's $1 million seed money to keep that going. So I'm jumping from making a neighbor a meal to when somebody, like the benefactor you're talking about, that I don't know, but God bless them, steps up with $1 million pledge. So sometimes it's the big things that thank you for delivering on, and sometimes we don't need the big things, just the little gestures that you could do individually from your house or your car also mean a lot. So give for Thanksgiving how you can, where you can, to people who don't have as much as you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Potasnik.
I will say congratulations, Councilmember Barrison, for that amazing announcement this evening. And then also to Rich Seaman, who is collecting in the lobby food for the food bank. Money goes far because, as Councilmember Karazi mentioned, they have a buying power, but sharing the food that you have is also a great way to help. Given the food shortages under SNAP, but anytime, it always goes a long way. So to community members for stepping up in all different ways, it's quite meaningful. Thank you to the voters on supporting my election, and congratulations to my running mates who did a fantastic job. Also want to thank Patrick Murray for running a great campaign, as well as the opponents for being respectful throughout the process. And then also congratulate our amazing Congresswoman, now Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill, who will be the second woman governor of New Jersey, the first Democratic governor, who was endorsed by the former Republican governor of New Jersey. So I don't think we talk a lot about bipartisanship these days, but I think that stands out to me as pretty monumental, and I think the state is in good hands with her leadership. I also want to echo my disappointment and with approval, which was a 1-2 punch of New York and New Jersey for the water quality permits for the Williams Transco Nessie pipeline. It is unneeded, it's dangerous, and this council has been firmly opposed, and we will continue to do everything we can to protect our community. I also wanted to say on a brighter note that, and thank the council and the public, I guess it was the Land Use Committee, but we have to do a stormwater evaluation as part of a requirement from the state. We were able to secure a grant through Montgomery Township to do a regional approach, which is one of 2 in the state, because water doesn't know geographic political boundaries. It knows where water runs, which is from the highest point to the lowest, and to what they call that a watershed. And so along the Millstone River, through the leadership at the at the Watershed Institute, we had Jim Waltman come talk about shad, remember? He talked about the shad. So their organization pulled together a number of towns so that we could pool resources together and look across the watershed, which is going to open up benefits for us for accommodating and adjusting. We got a lot of phones going off up here. It's very exciting. But so I just want to thank everyone for their patience, and that's good news. And sometimes it helps to pray, I guess, and hope. The DEP was able to give that grant, so that was nice. And also, congratulations and thank you to our veterans, which we don't thank enough. Our mayor, who's a veteran, Chanel Robinson, who's our county commissioner, and Assemblyman Danielson, also Franklin's own, serving as elected officials who are veterans. Did I miss anyone? I tried to be comprehensive. Those are the ones that come to mind. And all the families and spouses of veterans, and for those of you who had veterans in your family, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Potasnik. Councilman Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just 3 quickies. As I campaigned on the avenue, one gentleman struck me and stopped me for a question, and that was open space. And while I gave him chapter and verse on open space, and the mayor was with me, still didn't get across exactly what open space was. And he kept asking me questions. I kept telling him, but this is what we're going to do. And I've asked the township manager to give me a hand with this. Let us pinpoint all the open space we have. and let's pinpoint what we have on that open space so that you could tell, okay, Carl, you're walking down the street on the side of the road, you see a big sign that says Franklin Township Open Space. Well, what is it doing? We bought it so nobody else could use it. Nobody else can develop it. Parks. If we use it, if we spend the money to use it to buy land, no one else could buy the land. I think, Catalpa? Yeah, Catalpa. Somebody else could buy that, put a couple houses on there. What's the other one on 27 where the Board of Education sits? Consulata. That's what I was thinking of. The Fathers of Consulata, they gave us first rights to that. And believe me, they gave a piece away a couple years ago, and the amount of townhouses was really a killer. But nobody knew about that one. But in their divine wisdom, they gave us first spot at this one. I'm glad we bought it, because it would have really been dangerous for us, because our Board of Education, in which we're always trying to protect, would have been blown up. Affordable housing. We brought up affordable housing, and it's always in everyone's mind. And it's, we need to do a town hall, and for one reason. I'm chairman of the redevelopment agency here in Franklin Township. And everybody comes up and asks, well, what is affordable housing? Where can we sign up on it? How come we can't get it? Is it just for Franklin Township? Well, what I wanted to do was bring in two of our redevelopment contractors and have them explain to you what it is we do and how do you get on the list, what is your qualifications, and if you live in East Brunswick and we call you because we have a housing apartment open in Franklin Township, how does that work? Do you pack up your bags and come running right over here to Franklin Township? Or do you wait for another go-round? That needs to be explained in depth, because that's the question people ask. Definitely more sidewalks, Councilman Vassanella. Definitely more sidewalks. That's it.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Udine.
Thank you. Just a few things. Most of the items have already been spoken about, so thank you to my council peers, and congratulations to all the candidates that won the elections. To all my peers, thank you so much. It's great to work with you guys for another four years next term. So, Public Works, we had a meeting earlier today. We spoke about our 2025 roads and everything that's been paved, and Public Works has been moving very diligently and has been completing most of the items. There are a few roads that are still left, which will be carried over in 2026. Spring of 2026 is when they usually start. So I anticipate those roads are going to get completed at that time. Nessie on November 13th at 5:30, Councilman Potasnik. I am also registered as a speaker, so I plan to speak at that event as well. And as we're talking about a lot of the food insecurities in town, I just want to name a couple of things that's also going on. So CJCC, Community Jersey Community Center, had informed me that to make an announcement that they are hosting an early Thanksgiving at their location at 80 Cottontail Lane in Somerset. You do need to RSVP. They have limited seats, but it gets really packed, and they serve very delicious hot Mediterranean food there. Again, it's CJCC. If you go to their site or Facebook page, I think you can RSVP there. It's right here in town, and they're offering great early Thanksgiving meals. And then I also saw something that our clerk sent out from Somerset County. There's an emergency SNAP food distribution drive-through that's happening. That's at 411 Chimney Rock Road in Bridgewater, and that's on November 15th, which is a Saturday from 9 to 4 p.m. And then, you could check the criteria of what's needed from there. But these are just a couple food-related things that's happening in town. And then apart from food, it's getting cold out there. So our assemblyman who was here, Joe Danielson, is having a 2025 head-to-toe winter clothing drive. That starts on November 5th and goes all the way to January 16th at his location at 334 Elizabeth Ave. So if you have spare things that's on hand that can be donated, I always say make sure you give it out and help our folks that need to just get warm and bundled up. What we didn't talk about was the Franklin Township Restaurant Week that just occurred in November 2nd to I think November 8th just passed, and a lot of our restaurants had bundled up and did this, and I really hope that our residents that are out there had taken the opportunity to go and eat at these wonderful places. A lot of the lists that went down, most of them I have been to, and I know they offer great meals, so I really hope everyone had taken the time to enjoy that restaurant week. And I agree, Councilman Wright, with you on affordable housing town hall. I think the education is needed, and I think you hit on, oh, you're over there. You moved on me. I think you hit on a lot of the keynotes of what I hear also as I'm walking on the streets is, a lot more about affordable housing. But I also, I know I did a couple seminars earlier this year on scam and cyber on attacks that's happening, and I do think that's much more needed because attackers are getting very smart with AI and all that happening, and it's so easy for elderly folks as well as the youngers to just click on something and it just takes them to this thing where all of a sudden their entire phone and their banks and everything just got scammed. So we just have to be very, we got to get smarter than them. So I do look forward to seeing how we can kind of maybe have another town hall that will benefit the residents on learning more about the upcoming scams and what happens. With that, I think there was one more, and I'm not sure if the township manager is going to talk about this or the mayor, about the 911 text platform. Are you going to talk about that? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll let you talk about that then, Mayor, and that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. So for my comments, one of the things I forgot to tell you about Veterans Day ceremony tomorrow, Colonel Jonathan Hart is a chaplain, or was a chaplain in the Army, and he will be the chaplain for the ceremony. His 7 times great-grandfather, Reverend John Hart, was the first United States Army chaplain for this country. So appointed by Washington, that's pretty cool. 7th grandson, or 7th times grandson. 911 texting, you can now text an emergency to 911. You put 911 in as who you're calling.
No, you can put 911 in, Mayor. Please don't say 911 because 911 is sometimes confusing for people because there is no 11 on a phone.
Oh.
We always say 911 for 911.
You put 911 in, and then you text your emergency, who you are, and where you are. And that can be very useful if your house is under siege and you're hiding, you don't want to make any noise. You can do that very quietly. So we're one of the first in the state to have that. And our police were rightfully very proud of that. Happy birthday to the Marines. Today they are 250 years old. They were an organization before the country was a country. Speaking of 250, Franklin 250, we're getting together a passport for Franklin 250. It's a booklet listing restaurants, perhaps other types of vendors, and you go to each one of these places, you get your passport stamped, and at the end, if there's going to be 25 of these establishments, if you go to 20 of them, you're entered into a drawing for a prize. So the purpose of this is to raise money. It's free to the public, but the people who are the restaurants that are in the passport pay $250 to be in it, and that money will go to offset the costs of Franklin 250, because we want to minimize any expenditures to the taxpayers. If you're interested, go to the Township website /Franklin 250, and there'll be more information there. The last item is, for those of you who don't know, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman has said she will not be running again. There's a long line of people lining up for that. I'd like to announce that I am not running. That's going to be a very small field, so I'm very hopeful to win that. People not running, yes. Mr. Bornlacher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, drive-through food, check. 911, check. And my report's done. So thank you, council members, for doing my report for me. And I think I have something coming up in the next section. So that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Council discussion items. Proposed 2025 Township Council meeting schedule. Madam Clerk.
Okay. So the first thing is when you all would like reorganization, either January 1st, which is a Thursday, or Tuesday, January 6th.
Is there an option of doing it?
It's your option.
No, I'm saying anything that would forbid us from doing it, not, and I'll just throw this out there as a third option, not on the 1st, which I'm not against, but we've seemed like we've gotten away from doing it on the 1st, although Thursday, maybe that works, but also because it sometimes involves more people from the public.
Your point, Mr. Vassallo.
I am, Mayor. Okay, it's important. Thank you. Inviting people, et cetera, and people who are being sworn in sometimes have more people coming. We could also do it on, I know Saturday it may not be the best for yourself and other people involved, but that is an option if we wanted to forgo New Year's Day and forgo doing it on a Tuesday night. That may not be as practical for guests or the little bit of fanfare that we have. So I just want to put that out, Mayor. Go ahead. What were you going to, Councilwoman Francois, who's done this many, many times, may have something to add.
The deputy mayor was looking at me, so I said 5 people are getting sworn in.
Yep.
So it's cake, it's ice cream, it's speeches, it's family. It's a big thing. So if you want to have something specific for your reelection, do it on a Saturday. A lot more people will
That's
come.
what I was throwing out there. I don't know if anybody thought of, Mayor, I didn't mean to snub you there. I just thought that maybe that was a practical alternative. But obviously the 5 people or 4 others besides myself would have a strong opinion about that. When I say Saturday, I meant the first one, which would be technically the 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to
It would
have it by
have
the
to be.
7th.
You have to do it within 7 days.
Yes.
Right. Well, I just figured, and then that could be our first council meeting. Allow for the fanfare, but I know some people are like, oh, no, not New Year's. I'm fine with New Year's also, but how does everybody feel about that? Like a Saturday, perhaps?
January 3rd?
January 3rd.
What time?
Whatever time you guys want.
Well, when we used to do it New Year's, it was like 1 o'clock, 12 or 1 or something, so it wasn't too late or too early.
It's you guys' call.
Yeah.
The 5 of you, it's your call, what you would like to do.
What day was this year?
January 3rd, Saturday.
Saturday the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay?
That's not the first, though.
No,
No,
that's
the
not
first
it's
is
the third.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Charles?
I'm okay with Saturday.
Okay.
And we can have the council meeting that day, too, to make all the appointments.
Yeah.
Bob? I'm sorry, Mayor, I
That's
just
nothing to do with me.
So
know if
let me
there's...
clarify that this meeting on Saturday
I'm just
is
the guy who works here.
going to be the swearing in and the appointments. We're not going to have a regular council meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we could put...
No.
It takes.
And what day would be the next
No, it
council
doesn't
meeting?
make sense.
So the next- then it would be the 13th.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you would have three meetings.
You would
The
have
first
three
one would
meetings,
just to
yeah.
do all the business that we normally would do, that we used to do on New Year's, but we're thinking Saturday might be more practical.
Okay.
I don't know, is that,
That's okay.
It's up to you guys.
We have a unanimous consent?
What time?
I didn't hear Ed say anything.
oh,
He's not here.
it's about an empty chair. Well, we should give him the courtesy of chiming in. I didn't realize he wasn't here until I looked, and it was an empty chair. But,
All right, then let's hold that for a second. Let's
Okay.
do best practices. Calendar year 2025 best practice inventory. Mr. Bornlocker, are you?
Thank you. I'm assuming that all council members received a copy of the best practices inventory. For those of you who don't know, it is what it's called, a best practices inventory that is a requirement of all municipalities in the state by the New Jersey Division of Department of Community Affairs. There are roughly 70 questions, give or take, in this year's version of the best practices inventory. And they are from just for survey purposes only, half a point or 1 point. It's tied to your state aid. And the requirement this year was for 32 points, and we achieved 39.5. So we receive our full state aid based on that result. And if there are any questions, I'm here for you. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what was distributed and is in the agenda.
Any questions? So I had a question. Item number 14 was about electric vehicles. Do you have a policy, I believe, that?
Yes,
you
that
use
is the
them-
question.
Pardon?
I said, yes, that is the question for number 14. Yes.
Yes, I know that. I
Okay.
was saying that.
Well, you said you had a probably don't have a question. You probably have a comment.
No, I have a question, Mr. Vornlocker.
Okay.
And I'd like to ask it.
Okay.
It's about electric vehicles, whether you have a policy to use them, use them whenever you can, or buy them whenever you can buy a vehicle.
Correct. It's for
That's a-
purchasing. Right.
So we don't have it. Our answer to that was no.
Correct.
Here is my question. Is there a reason why you think we shouldn't have a policy? It sounds like a good thing to me, but maybe there's a practical reason not to.
Well, this would create a formal policy to purchase hybrid or alternative vehicles whenever such vehicles are suited for the intended use. That's completely a decision of you. There's nothing that would prohibit us from a practical standpoint from doing that. It's just the only thing that prohibits you from doing it is the availability of vehicles and the practical application of those vehicles.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's something we can work on. Do we vote on this?
No, you'd have to do anything. It's just,
Okay.
it's required to have it as a public comment, a public discussion.
Okay. Back to the council meeting schedule. Mr. Potasnik, you missed the suggestion to have it on.
You can hear out there.
I knew it was going to come up, you know.
There you go.
Actually, Councilman Wright told me.
Okay.
So you want
Stop
to have it on
lying
the
to you there,
3rd?
man, come on.
Does anyone, do you
What
need a
time?
vote?
You said 1 o'clock?
Well, there'll be a resolution at the next meeting adopting the calendar.
That's good.
Okay,
What time?
1 o'clock.
1? Okay.
all right. We are council discussed. Item number 12, approval of the minutes. I present the following minutes to Township Council for their approval. Township Council work session, regular meeting, October 28th, 2025. Do we have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item or make a correction? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Averison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onachaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potasnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Approval of the warrants. Warrants in the amount of $3,127,704.77 on November 10th, 2025 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion on the warrants?
I move that the warrants as read be paid.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone would like to pull an item, discuss an item? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik? Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Item number 14, public hearing and adoption of ordinances on second reading. We have none. Item number 15, ordinances on introduction on first reading. Ordinance 4485-25, an ordinance amending the municipal code of the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, New Jersey, more particularly Chapter 226, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 226-13, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets, Brookline Avenue. The following ordinance is presented to the Township Council for adoption on first reading, posting, and publication in accordance with law and public hearing and final adoption at a meeting of the Township Council to be held on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Do we have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make sure the manager.
So Mayor, this is in reference to a request from the Sewage Authority. It's in front of their pump station on Brookline Avenue, and they need the area to ensure that they have access at all times.
Any other comments?
Yeah, no, that was just wanted to confirm, and thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Ordinance 4486-25, an ordinance accepting an easement agreement for a pump station and associated utility infrastructure from Princeton Route 27 LLC for the premises known as Block 5.02, Lot 53, as per docket number ZBA 24-00015. The following ordinance is presented to the Township Council for adoption on first reading, posting and publication in accordance with law, and public hearing and final adoption at a meeting of the Township Council to be held on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Do we have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? This is to connect us to American Water at the southern end of town to ensure ensure the water supply and also to save us some money. No other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
The consent agenda. Items A through Q as listed in the consent agenda portion of this meeting are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item, ask about an item?
I'd like to ask about item J, Resolution 25-478, authorized out-of-state training. What is that for?
It's the international conference that I attend each year where I attend sessions such as, we did a whole one on how to handle Gen Z employees. It's a much higher kind of session than the state association.
So it's more for like your professional
Yes,
development?
Yes.
You get any certifications for any of that training?
I have the highest one. I have the Master Municipal Clerk Associate one from there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potasnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Item number 17, resolutions to be voted on separately. We have none. We have no old business. We have no executive session. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. We are adjourned. Be well, Franklin.